Hi children, welcome to grade 6 English and this is our session 2 in chapter 5, the last leaf. And before getting into our session, let's do an energizer. Children, think of a movie that had a sad ending and you cried after watching it. Yeah, think and answer. Well done, dears, and I hope you enjoy this energizer. And now let's recap what we have learned in our earlier session. We have seen the comic strip between the aliens and the Robonorm, and they were discussing about the hope and faith and how it can change our lives forever. And also, with the help of this conversation between these aliens, we can able to understand that in this chapter we are going to learn about verbs and tenses, right? Yeah, and we have also learned many buzzwords. And now let me summarize the story, The Last Leaf. Children, this story is about two young women, and with the help of this picture we can able to find out that yes, and this story is related to an art, that is the painting. Yeah, and now let's see the story. Sue and John C. They lived at the top of a building with 3 floors, and Sue came from Maine and John C. from California. And they had met at a restaurant on 8th Street. There they discovered that they liked the same kind of art, food, and clothes. So, due to their similarities, they decided to live and work together, and it was during the spring season. And towards winter, a cold stranger entered into that Greenwich village where they stayed. No one could see him, but he walked around touching one person here and another there with his icy fingers. He was a bad sickness, yes, doctors call him pneumonia. On the east side of the city, he hurried, touching many people, but in the narrow streets of Greenwich Village, he did not move so quickly. And Mr. Pneumonia was definitely not a nice old gentleman, because a nice old gentleman would not hurt a weak little woman from California, that is Johnsy. She lay on her bed almost without moving, and she looked through the window at the wall of the house next to hers. One morning, the busy doctor spoke to Sue along in the hall where Johnsy could not hear. And now, let's continue reading the story and find out what happened to Johnsy. She has a very small chance, he said. She has a chance if she wants to live. If people don't want to live, I can't do much for them. Your little lady has decided that she is not going to get well. Is there something that is troubling her? He asked with Sue. She always wanted to go to Italy and paint a picture of the Bay of Naples, said Sue. Paint? Not paint. Is there anything else she is troubled about? A man? A man? Said Sue. Is a man worth? No, doctor, there is not a man. It is weakness, said the doctor. I will do all I know how to do. But when a sick person begins to feel that he is going to die, half my work is useless. Talk to her about new winter clothes. If she were interested in the future, her chances would be better. After the doctor had gone, Sue went into the workroom to cry. She cried very hard because it was her friend, Johnsy. And then she walked into Johnsy's room. She carried some of her painting materials and she was singing. Johnsy lay there very thin and very quiet. Her face was turned towards the window. Sue thought that Johnsy was asleep, so she stopped singing. Sue began to work. As she worked, she heard a low sound again and again. There was a murmur there. She went quickly to the bedside. Johnsy's eyes were open wide. She was looking out of the window and counting back. 12, she said, and a little later 11, and then 10, 9, and then 8 and 7 almost together. Sue looked out the window. What was there to count? There was only the side wall of the next house a short distance away. The wall had no window. An old tree grew against the wall. The cold breath of winter had already touched it. Almost all its leaves had fallen from its dark branches. And children, here you can see the picture of Johnsy laying in her bed and Sue near her, and Johnsy was looking through the window, and in that window there was a tree growing against the wall, and that tree had only few leaves left. What is it, dear? Asked Sue. 6, said Johnsy in a very still, lower voice. They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100. It hurt my head to count them, but now it's easy. There goes another one. There are only 5 now. 5 what, dear? Tell your Sue. Leaves on the tree. When the last one falls, I must go too. I have known that for 3 days. Didn't the doctor tell you? She told Sue. Oh, I never heard of such a thing, said Sue. It doesn't have any sense in it. What does an old tree have to do with you or with your getting well? And you used to love the tree so much, I know already, but don't be a fool. The doctor told me that you have better chances for getting well, and he told me this morning you had very good chances. Try to eat a little now, and then I will go back to work. And then I can sell my painting. Then I can buy something more for you to eat to make you strong. You don't have to buy anything for me, said Johnsy. She still looked out the window. There goes another. No, I don't want anything to eat. Now there are 4. I want to see the last one fall before night. Then I will go too, she said. Johnsy dear, said Sue, will you promise me to close your eyes and keep them closed? Will you promise not to look out the window until I finish working? I must have this picture ready tomorrow. I need the light. I can't cover the window, she said. Couldn't you work in the another room? Asked Johnsy coldly. I'd rather be here by you, said Sue, and I don't want you to look at those leaves. Tell me as soon as you have finished, said Johnsy. She closed her eyes and lay white and still. Because I want to see the last leaf fall. I have done enough waiting. I have done enough thinking. I want to go sailing down, down like one of those leaves. Try to sleep, said Sue. I must call Berman to come up here. I want to paint a man in this picture and I will make him look like Berman. I won't be gone a minute. Don't try to move till I come back. Old Berman was a painter who lived on the first floor of their house. He was past 60. He had had no success as a painter. For 40 years he had painted without ever painting a good picture. He had always talked of painting a great picture, a masterpiece, but he had never yet started it. He got a little money by letting others paint pictures of him. He drank too much. He still talked of his great masterpiece and he believed that it was his special duty to do everything possible to help Sue and Johnsy. And Sue was very much worried about Johnsy and her mindset. As she saw the leaves in that tree, she felt that she would be gone too after the last leaf fall. And so that she told Johnsy to close her eyes and sleep for few minutes so that she can go and call Berman for helping her in her picture. And old Berman was a painter and he lived on the first floor of their house. She went to call Berman and he always wanted to help Sue and Johnsy whenever possible. And old Berman was a painter and he lived on the first floor of their house. Sue found him in his dark room and she knew that he had been drinking. She could smell it. She told him about Johnsy and the leaves on the wine. She said that she was afraid that Johnsy would indeed sail down, down like the leaf. Her hold on the world was growing weaker. Old Berman shouted his anger over such an idea. What? He cried. Are there such fools? Do people die because leaves drop off a tree? I have not heard of such a thing. No, I will not come up and sit while you make a picture of me. Why do you allow her to think such a thing? That poor little Johnsy. She is very sick and weak, said Sue. The sickness has put these strange ideas into her mind. Mr. Berman, if you won't come, you won't. But I don't think you are very nice, she said. And here in this picture, you can see the old Berman and Sue, they both were having a conversation. Now let me summarize what we have learned today. Children, this story is about Sue and Johnsy who lived in Greenwich Village and they both were very good friends. They stayed and worked together. And Johnsy was suffering from pneumonia and Sue wanted to save Johnsy. But Johnsy had that feel that once the last leaf withered away in the tree she was seeking, she would go along with that too. But Sue wanted to make her come away from that thinking. So she went to see the old man Berman and she asked him to come along with her to make a painting, and with the help of that painting she can get some money, and with the help of that money she can able to buy many things for Johnsy to get well and stronger. And till this part of the story we have seen in today's session, and I hope you are clear with it. And now let me tell you the home assignment for today's session. Read chapter number 5, the last leaf story, page number 55 to 57 in your concept book twice. Children, read thoroughly the story what we have seen in today's session. And you have to complete practice zone 1, question number 1. What brought the doctor to Sue and Johnsy's house? And second one, why did Johnsy keep looking out of the window? Third one, what did the doctor tell Sue after examining Johnsy? And fourth one, how did Berman make his living and why? Children, read the story thoroughly and answer all these questions in your English note. And after completing your homework, hand in your completed homework in grade 6 English Google Classroom within today. Drink more water, eat healthy food, reduce your screen time, give proper rest to your eyes, don't use mobile phones and television often, and stay home and stay safe, children. Thank you so much.